These spiking gas prices, brutal enough, but they're coming just as we head into the summer travel season. Joining us now to talk more about it and ways to save, communications specialist Valerie Puma from AAA of Western and Central New York. Valerie, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think, first of all, people are wondering, what's causing this latest spike in prices? Often we kind of can figure it out, but it doesn't seem like there's an obvious thing here.
I know, and I was hoping that the prices would continue to drop back down, but today we are seeing record-breaking numbers again. So the cost of oil actually accounts for more than half of the pump price itself. So more expensive oil means more expensive gasoline, and the crude oil was hovering near $100 a barrel last week, but is now closing in on $110. So that's where we're seeing that spike most recently.
And no real indication as to what's causing that? It's just like a market kind of thing?
A lot of it is going to be overseas, especially with the Russian crude oil market. So there are some variables there that are affecting the prices here in the U.S.
I see. What's the forecast look like? Are there any signs that things are going to plateau or maybe hopefully start to drop off, or are we looking at them still going up and up and up?
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but unfortunately, since the oil supply remains tight and the market remains highly volatile, crude prices will likely continue to fluctuate this week, potentially pushing those pump prices even higher.
Wow. Why is it, and I don't know if anybody has a good answer to this, but I hear this a lot, why is it that prices go up really fast, but when they come down, they seem to just trickle down very, very slowly?
Yeah, so if oil prices shoot up, then the gas prices are immediately going to follow. So oil does have that direct impact on what we're paying at the pump. Plus, gas stations do have the ability to set their own prices. So they may be slow to drop their prices if they paid a higher rate for their current supply, just so that they're not losing the money there.
Gotcha, I see. All right, so how can we save with our cars and trucks and SUVs? What are some AAA tips to help us save a little bit on our fuel consumption?
Sure. So to conserve fuel, I always recommend that motorists map their routes out ahead of time. Try to avoid peak traffic times like rush hour, maybe even combining errands into one trip so they're not constantly going back and forth from the house. Try to use cruise control when possible, and always make sure that your tire pressure is at the recommended level for your car. And even check to see if you have unnecessary or bulky items in your car that are really weighing it down when you're going out on those trips.
Simple couple of things there, especially with the making sure your tires are inflated and getting rid of, maybe if you have that ski rack still on top of your car, take that off, right? And things like that. Are you seeing people really start to change the way they go about their driving habits? Maybe they don't go on that extended vacation right now for a weekend. Maybe they, like you said, combine trips and only go to the supermarket once a week instead of a couple of smaller trips each week.
Yeah, so I think some people are trying to really plan ahead, try not to go out on the roads too often, but there is such a pent-up demand for travel, especially after the past 2 years with COVID restrictions. So a lot of people are still going out on these trips. I know Memorial Day weekend is going to be, that peak time for, high demand of gas and also people hitting the roads. So we're going to still see a lot of travel there, but hopefully people are able to maybe combine the smaller trips so that they're not on the roads quite as often.
Right. Those other little things can help add up so you can still take those trips. Diesel prices too, those are way up. How much of an impact is that having on all of us, not just the trucking companies, but the businesses they deliver to, us who buy from those businesses? Those diesel prices are way high.
Yeah, they are record high. I know we have seen record high numbers 2 days in a row at least. And these high diesel fuel prices are impacting businesses that need to transport goods, as well as anyone that has a commercial vehicle, especially like AAA. I mean, nearly all of AAA Western and Central New York's tow trucks rely on diesel fuel, as well as all of our contractor network. So this impacts not only businesses, but consumers waiting on deliveries, as well as motorists who may even need roadside assistance, especially when they're going out on those trips this summer.
Valerie Puma from AAA of Western and Central New York. Thanks so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll probably, as these prices kind of continue to, hopefully they hover, maybe come down a little, but we'll still have you back here because this looks like something we're going to be dealing with for some time now. Thanks for joining us tonight, Valerie.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.